In today's episode, we talk about Pirelli's tire gamble for Spa, new court rulings for NASCAR and 2311 and FRM, and only 4 drivers left in the IndyCar Championship Hunt. We also have race recaps from Saturday and Sunday's races, and is NASCAR taking things too far? All in today's episode, so let's get right into it. Hello and welcome to Apex to Oval. I'm your host Alex, this is my co-host Jack, and we're here to bring you racing updates, hot takes, and breaking stories from across the motorsports world. We have one F1 article, a couple of NASCAR articles. We have two specifically that we're going to talk about a little bit, and then I have a couple other ones I'm going to add in. We have two IndyCar articles, and then we have race recaps from the Xfinity Series at Dover, the Cup Series at Dover, and IndyCar at Toronto. We also have some race predictions for this upcoming week, including Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup Series for NASCAR, the Belgian Grand Prix for Formula 1, and Laguna Seca for IndyCar. And again, we also have NASCAR charting rules, fair or no. Let's get right into it. Our one and only F1 article is that Peralli is bringing C1, C3, and C4 tires to Spa instead of C1, C2, and C3 to open up more strategy options for teams. Spa with the C1, C2, and C3s tend to have just a one-stop strategy. So to mix up what teams want to do with strategy, they're bringing the C1, the C3, and the C4s.
Yeah, it should make for a bit of a more interesting weekend, although it seems like with the weather forecast, there's also a decent chance that we see none of those three tires. Looks like a pretty rainy weekend in Spa.
Yeah, I think it's like 60% for practice, 50%, 55% for race day, something like that. Like, it's nuts. Like, it's going to be raining all weekend, probably.
Well, and it's a sprint weekend, right? So, like...
Yep. The rookies are going to have so much fun.
Oh, yeah, because none of them can handle the wet. Anytime it gets wet,
No.
like 5 out of 6 are going to DNF.
Yeah. Happens every time.
It's going to be...
Yeah,
and it's Spa, too, so it's going to be a fun weekend.
Dude, I wonder how many of them are going to think that they can take Eau Rouge up, or go up Eau Rouge flat out in the wet, and just try it. I hope they don't. I hope they realize they're not going to be able to do that, and they just don't even try. But
yeah,
who knows at this point? Who knows? Let's get into our NASCAR articles. Jack, would you like to talk to you about yours first, because mine is a little lengthy.
So NASCAR will not be coming back to the Chicago street race next year. And they're hoping to come back in 2027 and beyond. But this has been kind of a hot topic politically in Chicago for a while, because while the street race was a very popular event in its own right, it was not necessarily the most popular for people living in Chicago, just because of all the disruptions and whatever else. And so the original agreement was for 3 years, and with that up, they're at least taking a pause on next year and, seeing if they can find a solution that works. But I know that they've also talked about returning to Chicago Land Speedway, which is about an hour outside of the city, which that's a NASCAR-owned mile-and-a-half, like, cookie-cutter track. Or they have other options in that kind of market. Like, they also were at... I think they were at Road America to cover that market at one point. And there's also, like, the Milwaukee Mile kind of nearby. Like, there are other tracks in the region. But it is really a shame to put a pause on what's been a really great event for the sport.
Yeah, I think by far it's the best out of the street courses, and maybe even road courses if you want to include them too. I've always liked watching the Chicago street races. So a 1 year off at least is kind of sad, but if they decide to put it back on, then I'll take it. But yeah, there's nothing really NASCAR can fully do at this point. It's all the city at this point. So yeah. Going on to our second NASCAR article. NASCAR got a court ruling stripping 2311 and Front Row Motorsports of their charter status for Dover and Indy, but they have given them a rule guaranteeing them an entry as an open car. One of the rulings says NASCAR, as at its sole discretion, may elect to limit the number of entries for a race to 40. In such instances, open teams will be determined based on the team owner point standings, which 2311 and FRM are clearly above the rest of the open teams at this point. And then they also added 4 open teams will be eligible for starting grid positions based on the fastest single lap speed posted to each team's vehicle in the first qualifying round. Up to 6 open teams will be eligible for starting grid positions based on... Yeah, so that's basically what it is to be able to qualify for a race. If you're an open team, you must be one of the highest ranked in team owner standings, which again, 2311 and FRM Motorsports are going to be pretty damn high up there because they've been racing the entire year. But yeah, it's a good thing that they're giving them a guaranteed spot. It sucks they're stripping them of their charter status, but there's going to be more and more rulings as time goes on. So there'll be a lot of more news to talk about with that.
I think we'll get in a little more detail into that later, but I actually am really not a fan of this decision, because it's just yet another example of NASCAR being able to and bending the rules however they want because they want to, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they did kind of the same thing where they just announced that actually the in-season tournament $1 million is going to the team owners, not the drivers, even though it's been marketed as the opposite. And, some drivers have believed the opposite all the way through.
Yeah.
But as of, very recently, it's being paid to the team owners instead.
There's getting a little bit dictatorish. Let's go into the IndyCar articles, or the news that's happened this week. There are only 4 drivers in contention for the IndyCar Drivers' Championship, being Alex Palou, Pato O'Ward, Kyle Kirkwood, and Scott Dixon. The drivers that 20 out of the 28 drivers, or 21 out of the 28 drivers, how many drivers are normally on the grid? Everyone but 7 drivers were eliminated 2 weeks ago in Iowa. 3 more were eliminated today, or not today, but this past week, which is Kristen Lundgaard, Felix Rosenqvist, and sadly, Marcus Armstrong. Though Marcus had a very strong year in a missed opportunity from his previous team, I'd say, because he's been flying lately. But sad to see Marcus Armstrong out of the title. Jack, what do you have any thoughts on
that? Yeah, I mean, it's the top 4, obviously, that are left are names that you would expect. But it is interesting, Marcus Armstrong feels like kind of the wild card here to have been in the top 7 this late in the season, to have still been eligible. Because, Lundgaard has been having a really solid year. Rosenqvist, you definitely expect to be up there. But, I don't know. Armstrong making it this long and still kind of flying under the radar as far as things go is impressive. And I know you've been a fan, so.
Yeah. I've been a fan. I really enjoyed... I don't remember what the podcast was called at this point, but he had a podcast with, I think it was 2 other F2 drivers, or maybe it was an F2 driver and one of their friends, or something like that, where, I really liked that podcast before that ended, or before Marcus left, and I liked Marcus in F2, so it was really easy for me to like Marcus while he is in IndyCar. But yeah.
Hey, that's why I was rooting for, slightly different, but obviously I was rooting hard for Romain Grosjean when he was running IndyCar.
Yeah. I was so pissed when I heard that Romain Grosjean was not full-time anymore. I was so livid. Because I was like, when I told myself before the season started, I'm going to watch IndyCar and Romain Grosjean is going to be my favorite driver. And then somebody told me in my comments, on TikTok, hey, he's not a full-time driver right now. He's a reserve driver. And I was like, what the actual hell? That pissed me off so much.
Unfortunate.
But anyway.
Yeah, and then I got some more track news. What I'm good for these days. IndyCar is working to finalize a deal with Mexico City to follow in NASCAR's lead and potentially, probably not next year, but in future years, even do a doubleheader weekend with NASCAR potentially. as one of a couple tracks that they're looking to add to replace Iowa. Because, as I'm sure people who were following the Iowa race weekend knew, it was a little pathetic for IndyCar over there. I think they had, across both races, they had only like a few thousand fans show up. It was pretty
A lot
empty.
of content creators, though.
Yeah.
A lot of content creators.
Which, in a lot of cases, isn't that kind of covered by the sport? Like it's not like they're paying a ton to get some of that access.
Yeah.
Which stings a little that they did still put, some effort into promoting it. But yeah, rough weekend for Iowa, in a string of Iowa kind of going downhill. So Mexico City is their, top target to replace one of the Iowa dates. We don't yet know what the second Iowa date is going to be kind of replaced by, because we know we're losing Thermal Club, gaining Arlington. So that's kind of an even exchange. Picking up Mexico City, hopefully, and then no clue what that last date is going to be yet.
Yeah. We hope. But I know it's never going to happen. But part of me wants them to come back to Watkins Glen. Like, I know the turnout was just like Iowa in its final years at Watkins Glen. But, like, I just want to race near me. Dude, the farthest IndyCar race to me is like...
Closest, you mean?
Or closest, yeah. The closest is like 8+ hours.
It's like Mid-Ohio, right?
Yeah, it's Mid-Ohio, and then there's another one as well. I forget which one it is.
Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to have to, like, I need a one closer. Like, Watkins Glen isn't even that close. Like, that's about 5.5, 6 hours away from me. But it's still, like, it's New York, so I can easily convince
Finger
my dad
Lakes
to go.
are a wonderful part of the world.
Yeah.
Like where Watkins Glen is, generally. Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. I love Watkins Glen area. It's very nice. Some very nice restaurants there. And my dad got to race there one time. He got to do some track time. Same with my sister.
That's fun.
Yeah. Anyway, we have some race recaps. Let's go to the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Dover. Conor Zilic was your winner, and I predicted Conor Zilic to win, and he did. Jack got Justin Allgaier, who finished
4th.
Which isn't bad. I mean, he spoiler, guys, Jack got a prediction right. Nuts. I know. He got a prediction right. Zilic pretty much dominated from the start of the second stage onward, as rain ended the race early, 65-ish laps early. And then Taylor Gray led the entire first stage. So it actually kind of sucks for Taylor Gray. I actually feel really bad for him, because he led the entire first stage, and a really bad pit stop caused him to go down like 7 places or whatever for the start of the second stage. And I was just like, damn, this could have been domination from Taylor Gray, and instead it was Conor Zilic who dominated the majority of the race. And then Jesse Love didn't do too bad. Top 5 for Jesse Love. Reki Sawalic got number 9. And I'm calling him, his name is William Sawalic, but his name is now Reki Sawalic. But yeah, like Austin Hill was running in the top 10 for a bit before he fell out of the top 10. My GOAT, Anthony Alfredo, top 23. My GOAT. And one other person I wanted to talk about is LeVar Scott. If you don't know who LeVar Scott is, he is a he's a non-national series driver, so he's in the ARCA Menard series. He's 3rd in the championship. He's damn good. In my opinion, he is the best driver in the ARCA Menard series. That's highly debated. And he was making his national series debut today. Or not today. Again, I say today as in like it happened today. This past weekend on Saturday. And he finished 28th. Now, he was running top 25 for the majority of the race. Ended up falling to, I believe, like 33, 34 after a bad pit stop. and then made his way back up to 28. So, not bad for his first National Series start. Still has a lot of talent. You can clearly see from that race he had a lot of talent in him. So, very excited for his future. But yeah, Jack, do you have any? I don't know if you watched this race. Jack was at. Would you like to say where you were at?
Oh, I was at Teco convention in Pittsburgh. So,
How was
a lot of not racing going on this weekend.
How was it?
It was good. Played some Pokemon. Played some, rhythm games and stuff.
You play some Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, I don't.
Damn.
I don't have cards. I also get the sense that Yu-Gi-Oh is the kind of thing that will actually just destroy my bank account if I even tried to assemble one deck. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh just seems like it's the most expensive thing out there.
I used to have a Yu-Gi-Oh deck back in the day. I don't have it anymore. I used to have like 5 Magic decks too. I just don't have any of them anymore. Anyway, let's. What'd you think of Zillage dominance?
A little surprising, in that this is an oval, obviously. But also, it's a shorter oval, and A, he's coming around on ovals really fast, and B, these shorter tracks are lower speed, kind of closer to what he'd be more used to. So, good for him, good for you, getting a prediction right, whoop-de-doo.
It's like a weekly occurrence at this point.
Yeah, you should start putting money on him. Not really, though.
I really should. I first. So if you guys don't know who Laps Down Pod is, I have their hat on my floor right now because I took it out of my bag the other day. But I was on one of their lives, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm putting all my money, all $1,000 of my tax refund, on Ryan Preece winning at, I forget what track it was, but I'm like, what are the odds I put $1,000 on Ryan Preece to win?" And it was really funny, and they're like, "Don't do it. We do not promote gambling." And I was like, "Aw." And it just became a bit, and it was really funny. But yeah, I really should start betting on Zillage.
Yeah, maybe not on Ryan Preece, though.
Nah, maybe not. But yeah, and then the next up was the NASCAR Cup Series race at Dover. Hamlin won. Jack, would you like to take your little victory lap?
Well, first off, who did you pick for this race?
I picked Watermelon Man, and he DNF'd.
Well, that's peculiar. So if you got it wrong, then what happened?
A witch from off Wish.com cursed the track.
Okay. So on this cursed Monster Mile, Denny Hamlin ended up winning, and for once, actually probably a while, I think the last time I had a correct pick was like, oh shoot, it was one of the road course races.
It was weeks ago.
Yeah.
Was it the was it Chicago?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, well, finally picked one up. And it was Denny, too, who you have been on a streak with.
I love Denny. I love Denny so much. I love him so much.
But yeah, Denny Hamlin got Chase Briscoe back for a few weeks ago, huh?
Yeah.
When Briscoe had the fuel-saving masterclass, now Denny had the tire management masterclass.
Yeah, it was a great race. Elliott dominated in the beginning, and then Hamlin just took over. And well, first off, it rained again, so we had like an hour and a half, 2-hour rain delay, and it worked out for me because my parents and my sister took me, or we all went to a winery, and we went to a whiskey place afterwards so they could do a whiskey and wine tasting. And I didn't drink any. And right as we set off to go back to our house, the races stopped. because of rain delay. And it was like a little over an hour drive back. And I'm just like, please, for the love of God, let me get back to the house so I can watch the remainder of the race. Please. I was able to get back in time. So I was able to watch the remainder of the race as well. And it was a fantastic race. Hamlin pitted really just... I'm not going to say early, because it wasn't early, but he pitted, and then he refused to pit. Like, he had the lead and just refused to pit. And he fended off Bell, who was on, I believe, 10-lap newer tires or something like that. I think it was like 5 or 10-lap newer tires or something like that. And Bell kind of spun on his own. I had someone in my comment section on TikTok be like, oh no, Denny door tapped him. Like, no. Bell just lost control of the car into the corner. That's not really on Hamlin. And even Bell admitted that it was his fault that he lost the car. So I don't know why you're complaining that Bell got spun. And then Briscoe was on basically sticker fresh tires for the couple of restarts. Made his way up to the front and then just couldn't overtake Denny. And it was amazing to watch. And that is why Denny Hamlin is my GOAT. Ty Dillon and Ty Gibbs advanced to the finals of the in-season challenge, which we've talked about earlier. And yeah, I'm pulling with Gibbs. I think Ty Dillon's Timu Witch spell is wearing off, and I think Ty Gibbs, Mr. Megamind himself, all due respect, Mr. Megamind himself, is I love Ty Gibbs, but the head shape do be looking like a Megamind. But I think he's gonna win the finals.
I've been telling you that the cheat code for this in-season tournament thing is just to be named Ty or Tyler. Like, because both of their names, like both of their full names are Tyler, but clearly the abbreviation to Ty is important. Otherwise, Reddick would still be here.
That is true.
But like,
will Tyler Reddick switch his name to Ty Reddick for next season?
Just for the in-season challenge part, maybe.
Just for the in-season challenge, exactly.
Maybe even a driver whose name isn't Tyler should try that, you know? We just
Joey
get like
Logano?
Ty Elliott.
Denny Hamlin? No, we don't want Chase Elliott winning. No.
Speaking of Chase Elliott, though, that was a bit of an unintentional segue. He had a good race in the beginning, and then this is one of those races where all of his fans want Alan Gustafson fired. Because, well, Denny refused to come in and pit for tires. Elliott did come in for only 2 tires, lost track position, strange strategy call, did not go well for him.
He made it into the top 5, though. Like, it wasn't completely awful. It's just a couple of cautions came out and ruined the race. Oh, no, he was top 6, but...
Yeah.
Again, a couple of bad timed cautions took place when he was making a charge up the field, and he wasn't able to capitalize. I mean, Ty Gibbs finished P5. And Bubba Wallace P7. Brad in the top 10.
Which, speaking of Wallace P7, what a lovely coincidence on our hats today.
I know.
Unplanned.
Is that what you were saying? Is that what you were saying earlier? Is that because you were wearing the hat?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought you were like, oh, nice hat. And then you decided to put it on afterward, and I was like, oh.
No.
Oh, my God.
It when I came on the call. I was like, hang on.
That's awesome. We love Bubba in this household. Big Bubba fans. Let's get to IndyCar. Now, this is the one race I did not watch this week. I was in the car on a road trip.
He was IndyCar.
I was in the car. Damn it. God damn it. I was in the car. Me and my family were on a road trip a little bit. And when the IndyCar race started is when I was picking up we were picking up my sister from her conference. And like we just got food. So I put my phone down with the IndyCar race. I can't listen to it because my headphones just died. I didn't have a second pair with me. And So I'm just watching it, and then I got something on my shirt, and I was fixated on like marshmallow fluff getting on my shirt,
Ooh.
and I could not watch the remainder of the race. I was so angry because it didn't come from the actual bagel I was eating. It came from the wrapper that it came in, and I was just like angry as can be. So I just stopped watching the IndyCar race after that. And yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't focus on both at once. I had to just rant about my shirt.
Bro was furious about the marshmallow fluff.
Dude, it was really bad. I was doing so well to keep my shirt clean, and I go wrap the bagel in because I was having a hard time with the bagel because it was a messy ass bagel. If you ever go to, I forget what it's called. It's like Mommy something, Call Your Mom or so. I don't even know what it's called. It's in DC, and Washington DC. And if you ever go to like the bagel place called like something mom or mom something whatever it is, bring a lot of napkins and bring a bib because them shits are messy. Anyway, yeah. So I didn't watch the IndyCar race fully, but that's all right.
Well, we had some strategy differences this week. Pelot chose to start on the primary tire, see if they could get away, build a big lead, and use that as their strategy. Worked out well at the start, not so well later on. Pelot finished 12th, Dixon finished 10th. Those were our two picks. So, neither of us got this one right. Did you already say the podium?
I did not. It was Award, Renus VK, and Kiffin Simpson.
Which, pretty good podium. I believe that's VK's first podium since 2022.
It's a fantastic podium, Ethan. The best podium.
And VK has been putting together a great season in not the best car, which is really impressive by him. But yeah, Pato O'Ward was one of many drivers that started on the alternate tire. That was like the worst tire. And that obviously ended up being the winning strategy. Because, you had that podium.
I'm pretty sure he pitted lap 1.
I don't remember if I'm being completely honest, but
if I'm not mistaken, Pato pitted lap 1 after the caution came out.
I don't think it was lap 1, but I think it was like lap 2. Like it was very early.
Yeah, it was really
because the caution
early.
Came out lap 3, I think, which means that like he could run the better tire for the longer runs, right? Like you start on the less favorable tire because you need to run both, and then you take it off so quickly that you can run the faster tire the rest of the way.
Okay, so 10:24. I forget when. It was literally like 2 minutes after the race started. Award, Ericsson, McLaughlin, and Siegel all pitted to get rid of the soft tire. It was literally 2 minutes after the race started because I think race time was 12:22 or something like that, and 12:24 is when Pockers tweeted that Award pitted to get off the soft tires.
Yeah, and Andretti wasn't cursed this week, which is cool. I think they finished 4, 5, 6.
But guess who was still cursed?
Who is still cursed?
Penske!
What? No way.
Dude, I swear to God, dude, I hate it here. I'm not even a Penske fan fully. I just like Newgarden.
I like McLaughlin. So.
I like McLaughlin. See, I made a top 10 list. I posted a top 10 list on I posted it on the podcast channel. It was when I was doing them by myself for like a couple weeks. I was like my top 10 favorite IndyCar drivers, and I had like Scott McLaughlin out of the top 10, but he's number 11, so it's like he's right there pretty much. But yeah, they're still cursed.
A little bit. Also, speaking of cursed, but not really, but something that I quite enjoyed is one IndyCar driver did not start this week because of an incident in morning practice. Yes. And that already made this week a win in my book. Dedicated
Agreed.
hater.
100%.
But yeah, Santino Ferrucci did not get to participate in the race because he
Let's go.
both had damage to his car and I believe bruised his hand
Yes.
in the morning practice, and so both he and the car were not necessarily fit to race by the time the race started. So,
Which was a good thing. Connor Daly fans on top. On top, on your dome.
Anyway, speaking of IndyCar, I believe the NASCAR series are heading to Indianapolis this week.
They are. Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup.
All right.
Who do you have for the Trucks at Indy Raceway part?
I have Ty Majeski. I think he's the twice reigning winner at IRP. But also, I feel like I've picked him a couple other times this year, but at some point it's got to pay off.
You know, Sheldon Creed's never paid off for you.
I root for him. Yeah, but whatever. That's why I'm picking someone else this week.
I have Corey Haim. If you don't pick Haim at any point, kind of dumb. It's just fact. Haim's always going to be up there. He's the best driver in the Truck Series. He might be the best driver in the lower two series in NASCAR. The only other driver that might be better than him is Connor Zilic. So,
give me Connor Zilic.
Give me. Wait. What is the quote? Aliens pointing the death beam on. Give me Iguodala. Yeah. Give me Connor Zilic. All right. Anyway. Well, speaking of Connor Zilic, that's who I have for the Xfinity Series race at Indy Motor Speedway. Who do you have?
I have Cole Custer. Kind of more of a veteran. Hey, look. This time, my forward bias in Xfinity is actually based on the fact that Stuart Haas, but like Haas factory team, finished 1-2 last year, I believe, with Riley Herbst winning, Cole Custer finishing second. Sheldon Creed, though not driving for Ford at the time, also has raced really well at this track, but I'm not picking him again.
Don't do it. He's not winning. Trust me, he's not winning.
This is a track where I think experience matters a lot. Like Indy Motor Speedway itself, and with the NASCAR series having gone to the road course instead of like IMS itself, or like instead of the oval. I'm taking a veteran that has run really well here before to get the job done.
That is fair. For the Cup Series race at Indy Motor Speedway, I have the GOAT, Denny M.F. Hamlin.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I originally was going to pick Kyle Larson. But then, when I was looking back through the last few races at the Indy Oval, I noticed that in like 2019, 2020, Bubba Wallace finished in the top 10 both years in Petty equipment. And last year he finished, I think, in the top 5 in a 2311 car. And based on, of course, the hats that we're both wearing today, I think that I would be doing myself a disservice if I did not pick Bubba to win at the Brickyard.
I like that pick. As a Bubba Wallace fan, I love that pick. Best pick. So, the greatest.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of a theme of I'm picking guys that I want to win, too. Not just who I think is the most likely. So,
Well, I'm also picking who I want to win. As you see, I have Haim, Zilic, and Hamlin.
Yeah.
As Hamlin is going to win the Cup Series championship this year and silence all of the haters.
I am noticing that you may not have picked your favorite for the Belgian Grand Prix in Spa this weekend.
This one's less so. I have confidence in my favorite driver. I do not have confidence in the team.
Yeah, that's always fair.
So, for that reason, I have Lando Norris. It was between him and Piastri. Again, the McLarens are by far the fastest car on the grid. They are the rocket ship. And, Lando's the hot hand right now. He could very well, I believe he could take the championship lead this week. So, for that reason, I have Lando Norris.
I'm actually going to roll with Lewis this weekend. I think you combine with it's a sprint weekend. It's very likely going to be a wet weekend. So there's opportunity for other drivers. Like, there's, with the rain and with more racing, there's more opportunity for chaos, right?
Yes.
And of drivers that are skilled in the wet and generally pretty good at keeping themselves on track, Lewis is definitely up there. And you combine that with a Ferrari that supposedly is getting a massive upgrade for this weekend. Time will tell whether that works for them or not, but combine the upgrade, the conditions, a track that Lewis is clearly comfortable at, perhaps more so than a lot of the younger drivers on the grid. I think that there's a good chance he gets it done.
Yeah.
Of course, if it's dry, then that all goes out the window, because I'm not sure that Ferrari can keep up in perfectly dry conditions.
Yeah, they probably can't. Most likely can't. Yeah. And then IndyCar at Laguna Seca, I have Scott M.F. Never count him out, Dixon.
I'll take Alex Palou. There's not much more to it. I think those two combined for like all of the recent wins at Laguna Seca.
Yeah.
And then maybe it was like Herto before that, but
I was talking with Jack because while we're making this doc, and we're sitting in college while we're making this document, I'm like, yo, do you want Palou this week? And he goes, I don't know, you're the one who has him. And I'm like, if I take Dixon, do you want Palou? And he's like, sure. I'm not going to say no. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll take Dixon.
I think we both pretty much landed on it. We're going to pick one of those two here.
Yeah.
So
I was just like, I want Dixon this time. I always pick Palou. I want Dixon this time. Also, some other news before we get on to our main story. I do have some other news from the world of NASCAR. Why is this not scrolling? There we go. First up, the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds are going to be sporting NASCAR-themed merchandise for their Speedway Series. I think it's Speedway Series.
Yeah.
On August 2nd. I'll pull up a picture somewhere around here. The unis, the hats, the batters' helmets, so freaking cool, man. I actually really like them. Not the biggest baseball fan. Jack definitely is a much bigger baseball fan than I am. But, yeah, fun to see that. And then also giving the command for the Brickyard 400, which is the Cup Series race at Indy. It will be Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. Now, as a Sesame Street lover, I love Sesame Street, and I think that's an amazing call. So, yeah.
Last I checked, speaking of the Brickyard 400, I believe, what's his name? Pacers player is going to be driving
Pascal
the pace car.
Siakam.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's fun for any basketball fans out there that are not Knicks fans.
Anyway, yeah, that's facts. Let's get into our main story, which is the NASCAR charter rulings, fair or no. If you don't know, this started, I think, earlier this year, maybe. And it was 2311 and Front Row Motorsports suing NASCAR over the charter agreement. And NASCAR since then has been very scummy in the way that they've done things, stripping them of their charters. Yes, they allowed them to race as an open team, like they have a guaranteed spot as an open team, but they stripped away their charters. The way they're going about things is very scummy, in my opinion. But I wonder if Jack has any. Jack's probably a lot more calm on this subject than I am.
Yeah, I mean, NASCAR is gonna do what they're gonna do. In some ways, I don't disagree that the teams shouldn't be chartered if they're not signing the charter agreement. Like, at some point, there are kind of consequences to the action, but also they're suing because of how NASCAR runs it, like a monopoly, like a dictatorship, and really proving that you need a charter to compete, right?
Yeah.
And the decision recently by NASCAR to change the rules on the fly was in response to 2311. It's kind of the leader of this. It's easy to even forget that front row is attached based on the PR side, just because of how vocal like Denny can be about it as like just a face of the lawsuit. But they, as a last-ditch effort, went for a restraining order against NASCAR to try to preserve their chartered status, which to get... was it a restraining order or a cease and desist? I think it was a restraining order, not a cease and desist.
It was a restraining order. It was a restraining order.
But to get a restraining order, you need to prove that there would be harm to you if you don't get the restraining order, right? And so their legal argument was basically, as a non-chartered team, we could miss races, right? That they wouldn't be guaranteed entries, that they're at risk of losing their drivers because there are clauses in, for example, Tyler Reddick's contract where he gets out of his contract if the team is not able to secure him a charter. Because that's, and I think that might be pretty standard as far as drivers go. I'm assuming that's not specific to Reddick because he was joining a team that already had a charter for him and had no plans to sell it. But, they're arguing all these harms, and then NASCAR just out of the blue, on the fly, changes their rules to basically prevent the restraining order from getting applied and do the bare minimum to do that. Like, obviously the teams are still getting paid less. Obviously they're losing other benefits, but they're just changing the rules of race entry to get around that one argument and prevent the teams from getting the restraining order and, continuing to act as chartered teams in the meantime.
Yeah. I think it's really scummy what they're doing. Like, I think a lot of people are for 2311 and for front row and this lawsuit.
You'd be surprised.
I'm not saying everyone, because there are definitely people that aren't for 2311, but I think people who aren't for 2311 and front row, I think they're just, I don't think they, in my opinion, they just don't like Denny.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of anti-Toyota sentiment. It's a lot of anti-Bubba sentiment. And I'm sure you know what I mean by that. But, like, if you look at the comments of any, like, Bob Pockris update from the lawsuit, anyone really posting about it, the majority of the comments are people being, like, pro-NASCAR. Like, anti-2311, anti-FRM. And it's shocking to me that it's the majority of people that are like, yeah, get what you deserve kind of thing to them, when really they're trying to improve things for all of the teams and all of the drivers. Yeah.
It really doesn't make any sense. Like, NASCAR itself is like, NASCAR is pulling what we call a Ben Salam in these parts. And it's just trying to full-on dictatorship power through things like they need.
They always have done that.
Yeah, but in this case specifically, like, changing the rules just so they can't get a restraining order, that's a bit scummy. Like,
right?
It makes people believe that, oh no, they're doing a good thing because now they're guaranteed. Like, no, they did that because now 2311 and Front Row Motorsports don't actually have a case to keep the charters, so they can't. Like, that's the only reason why they did this. They didn't do it because, oh, they were complaining that they didn't get a spot, now they get a spot. No, they're doing it because now they can't get a restraining order to keep the charters in the first place.
It's just to get around it legally, and they have the power to reverse that rule change at any moment.
Yeah. So, it's very scummy. It's very scummy.
But this is what they've always done. They're a privately owned league by, like, the France family, or I don't even know if league is the right term, right? Like, they have always been very dictatory. They've always been a little too involved, all of that. And that's what this lawsuit is trying to address. But, man, are you seeing some of the worst of it as this lawsuit plays out over time.
Yeah. And I have no doubt in my mind that Denny Hamlin, 2311, Farm Motorsports are going to kick NASCAR's ass when it comes to the actual, like, final lawsuit. But NASCAR is making their lives hell right now while the lawsuit is still pending. Because I think the lawsuit is set to be
December?
Starting in December, right? Yeah. So there's a long time. There's what? We're in July and end of July, August, September, October, November.
You've got the rest
5
of the season,
months.
you know?
You got 5 months, and that's the entire rest. Like, there's a lot of things that they're doing to make 2311 and FRM Motorsports lives hell for
Yeah.
no reason to.
And they're still keeping everything within the bounds of what the court wouldn't look down on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're still trying for the PR angle. You can only imagine what would happen if, like, they lose the lawsuit, what kind of treatment they'd get from the governing body for pulling something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like next year, if they end up losing, it might be ugly.
Yeah. Because there have been NASCAR. See, here's the thing. NASCAR has said at some point they are looking to sell the charters if they lose, right? That's something that I feel like someone came out with that, where it was like NASCAR is looking at selling the charters.
I don't remember specifics. I know that they can't right now, but if it comes to it, they are. I don't think NASCAR can directly sell them, but they are able to redistribute them in some way.
Yeah.
But also, I'm sure they could change the rules on the fly if they want to get revenue from it.
Yeah. It's just... Like, I love the sport. I love NASCAR itself. Like, not the entity of NASCAR, but the racing product of NASCAR, the drivers, the teams, all that. But the owners and the higher-ups, just, I don't like. There's very scummy things going on right now.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it. But, yeah.
Yeah.
I talked about Brittany Force already.
I don't think so, actually.
Oh, okay. So, one thing that I wanted to talk about was Brittany Force. If you don't know who she is, she's a 2-time NHRA Top Fuel champion. She's also the daughter of legendary driver John Force. She set a new record in the NHRA racing series for the fastest or the highest top speed in the sport's history at 341.85 miles an hour. She broke the previous record, which was 341.68 miles per hour during a 2024 race. But she's not only the fastest driver in NHRA history, but she has 5 of the top 6 fastest passes in the top fuel category. She is on fire at this point. I believe this came in E3, the E3 round, or round 3 or whatever, for the NHRA on Sunday. But that is so freaking cool, man. That is so cool. That she's still making history at this point. Again, she's a 2-time NHRA champion. Currently, she is 227 points behind leader Sean Langdon at the moment. But she has done so well so far. And she drives for HendricksCars.com, their team. So, yeah.
Is that her sponsor? Or?
I believe so. It just says overall. She said in the interview overall it was pretty solid outing for this HendricksCars.com team.
Yeah. So that's the sponsor. So I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that she drives for like John Force Racing, as in her dad's team, but also.
Yeah, but the HendricksCars.com is the sponsorship for the team, which is really cool. You love to see women in motorsports. You love to see them succeeding as well. So I just thought I'd bring that up as something really cool that I didn't find this out. My dad sent it to me a couple days ago, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's really cool! I want to go talk about this on the pod." So, and you got a new NHRA fan of myself. I've watched a couple of NHRA races over time, but I'm definitely gonna be watching more now.
To one?
That's just super cool to me.
I feel like I remember going to one way back when we were kids.
We might have. I'll have to ask my dad.
I thought it was like a Scouts thing or something. Yeah. I think so.
I'll ask my dad. He knows. He was the leader of the Scout thing, so he should know.
It could have been something else, but I swear I remember having gone to one at some point, because I remember my whole body like vibrating from the cars.
I know we used to go to like Yukon games. We used to go to Army games. We used to go to.
Yeah.
Rangers games, stuff like that. But yeah, I thought that would be really cool to end the podcast with. So yeah, that's it for today's podcast. Jack, do you have any thoughts?
I swear Cole Custer is gonna win at IMS. It's gonna happen.
I swear Denny Hamlin is going to win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Great podcast today. Got a lot of good news out, and tune in next week.
And some not so good news.
And some not so good news. But thank you guys for watching, and have an amazing day.